Welcome to a peaceful journey through the wonders of science as you drift into deep, restorative sleep. Let your mind relax as gentle facts about our amazing universe flow over you like a calm stream. There's no need to focus or remember anything. Just allow these soothing truths about nature and science to guide you into tranquil slumber. Your body knows how to rest, and as you hear these calming words, you're already beginning to feel more relaxed, more peaceful, more ready for the deep sleep that awaits you. The human brain contains approximately 86 billion neurons, each one a tiny miracle of biological engineering, and right now as you rest, these neurons are working in harmony to help you achieve the perfect state of relaxation. Every breath you take brings oxygen to every cell in your body, and as you breathe slowly and deeply, you're nourishing yourself, preparing for the most restful sleep. The universe is 13.8 billion years old, an incomprehensible span of time, and yet here you are, in this perfect moment, ready to surrender to sleep. Water covers 71% of Earth's surface, and just like those calm ocean depths, you too can sink into profound stillness and peace. Your heart beats approximately 100,000 times each day without you ever having to think about it, a faithful rhythm that continues as you sleep, keeping you safe and alive. The light from the stars you see at night has traveled for years, sometimes centuries, to reach your eyes, carrying ancient photons across the vast emptiness of space, and similarly, sleep carries you across the vast landscape of night into a new day, refreshed and renewed. Trees communicate with each other through underground fungal networks, sharing nutrients and information in ways scientists are only beginning to understand, reminding us that connection and rest are fundamental to all life. Your body temperature naturally drops as you prepare for sleep, a biological signal that it's time to let go of the day. The speed of light is approximately 186,000 miles per second, faster than anything else in the universe. Yet right now, there's nowhere you need to rush to. Nothing you need to do except rest. Honey never spoils, and archaeologists have found 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs that's still perfectly edible, a testament to nature's ability to preserve and protect. Just as sleep preserves and protects your health and well-being. The average person walks approximately 75,000 miles in their lifetime, roughly equivalent to walking around the Earth 3 times. But right now your journey is internal, a gentle descent into the healing realm of sleep. Octopuses have 3 hearts and blue blood, their copper-based blood carrying oxygen in ways different from our own iron-based blood, showing us that there are many ways to sustain life, just as there are many pathways into deep sleep. The human body replaces its entire outer layer of skin every 28 days, constantly renewing itself, and sleep is when much of this renewal happens, when cells regenerate and heal. A single bolt of lightning contains enough energy to toast 100,000 slices of bread, nature's tremendous power focused into an instant. While sleep is gentle power distributed across hours, slowly recharging every system in your body. The Amazon rainforest produces 20% of the world's oxygen, an enormous living system breathing life into our atmosphere, and as you breathe deeply now, you're participating in this global exchange, connecting yourself to the living earth. Butterflies taste with their feet, experiencing the world in ways we can barely imagine, reminding us that reality is richer and stranger than we often perceive, especially in the mysterious realm of dreams that awaits you. The Pacific Ocean is so large that all the continents could fit inside it with room to spare, a vastness that mirrors the vast potential for rest and restoration within you. Your brain generates enough electricity to power a small light bulb, approximately 20 watts of electrical activity that continues even as you sleep, processing memories and consolidating learning. Snails can sleep for up to 3 years during times of drought, nature's perfect example of the healing power of extended rest. The Milky Way galaxy contains between 100 and 400 billion stars, each one a sun with its own story, and you are made of the same elements as those stars. Stardust resting under starlight. Dolphins sleep with one half of their brain at a time, keeping one eye open to watch for danger, but you are safe here, and you can let your whole mind rest completely. A teaspoon of neutron star material would weigh about 6 billion tons, matter compressed to unimaginable density, while your concerns and worries can now be released, no longer weighing on you as you drift toward sleep. The Great Barrier Reef is the largest living structure on Earth, visible even from space, built slowly over millennia by tiny organisms, just as your health is built through many nights of good sleep. Hummingbirds can fly backwards and even upside down, the only birds capable of such feats, their wings beating up to 80 times per second. But right now your only movement is the gentle rise and fall of your breathing, slower and slower as sleep approaches. The sound of the ocean in a seashell is actually the sound of blood flowing through the vessels in your ear, your own internal ocean creating the illusion of waves. A reminder that profound peace exists within you. Bamboo is the fastest growing plant on Earth, with some species growing up to 3 feet in a single day. Yet this growth happens quietly, naturally. Just as your body's healing happens quietly as you sleep. The human nose can detect over 1 trillion different scents, an incredible sensory ability that connects us to memories and emotions. And perhaps right now you can imagine the scent of something that brings you peace, lavender fields or ocean air or fresh rain. Antarctica contains 90% of the world's ice and 70% of its fresh water. A frozen continent at the bottom of the world where temperatures can drop to minus 130 degrees Fahrenheit, yet even their life persists, adapted and resilient. Just as you are resilient, recovering each night through sleep. A day on Venus is longer than a year on Venus, the planet rotating so slowly that it completes a journey around the sun before completing one rotation on its axis. A strange temporal reality that reminds us time itself is relative, and in sleep time loses meaning as hours pass in what feels like moments. The human eye can distinguish approximately 10 million different colors, painting your daily experience in unfathomable variety, and soon your eyes will close and you'll see the colors of dreams. The mind's private art gallery. Coral reefs cover less than 1% of the ocean floor, but support 25% of all marine life, concentrated ecosystems of incredible diversity, showing that great richness can exist in small spaces, like the rich world of rest and renewal that exists in the space of your sleeping hours. The longest living organisms on Earth are bristlecone pine trees, some over 5,000 years old, bearing witness to the rise and fall of entire civilizations. Their secret to longevity perhaps related to their periods of dormancy in harsh winters, nature's wisdom about the necessity of rest. Your stomach produces a new layer of mucus every 2 weeks to protect itself from its own digestive acids, constant renewal and self-protection happening automatically, without conscious thought. Just like sleep happens automatically when you allow it. The sound of thunder is caused by lightning instantly heating the air to temperatures 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun, causing rapid expansion and the characteristic rumble. But tonight there's only the quiet rumble of relaxation spreading through your body. A cloud can weigh more than 1,000,000 pounds, yet it floats effortlessly because the weight is distributed across billions of tiny water droplets. And similarly, your concerns can be distributed across time, dealt with tomorrow, released for now as you float into sleep. The heart of a blue whale is the size of a small car and beats only 5 to 6 times per minute, powerful and slow, and you can let your own heartbeat slow to its resting rate. Strong and steady and calm. Sharks have been around for more than 400 million years, predating trees by 150 million years, ancient survivors that have perfected their form. Just as sleep is an ancient and perfected mechanism for survival and thriving. The human body contains enough carbon to make 900 pencils, enough iron to make a 3-inch nail, and enough phosphorus to make 2,200 match heads. We are made of common elements arranged in uncommon ways, made of the earth and returning to earth-like stillness in sleep. Glass is technically a liquid, not a solid, flowing so slowly that it would take millions of years to observe its movement, patience beyond human comprehension, and sleep too requires patience. Allowing rather than forcing, surrendering rather than controlling. A single raindrop falls at approximately 20 miles per hour, much slower than you might think, each drop making its own journey from cloud to earth. And your journey into sleep is also slower than you might think, a gentle, gradual descent that's already well underway. The longest recorded flight of a chicken is 13 seconds, reminding us that not all creatures are meant to soar for long periods, and that's perfectly fine. Right now you don't need to soar or strive, only to rest where you are. Giraffes only need 5 to 30 minutes of sleep per day, often taken in short naps, but you are not a giraffe. You are a human being who thrives on 7 to 9 hours of restorative sleep. And tonight you're giving yourself this gift. The surface area of a human lung is approximately the same as a tennis court when spread flat, an enormous interface for gas exchange, happening invisibly inside your chest with every breath. Breathing in oxygen, breathing out carbon dioxide, breathing in peace, breathing out tension. A bolt of lightning is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun, reaching temperatures of 54,000 degrees Fahrenheit, nature's fierce power. But your power tonight is the opposite. The power of softness, coolness, letting go. The human skeleton completely regenerates itself approximately every 10 years, gradually replacing old bone cells with new ones. You are literally not the same person you were a decade ago. Your body constantly making you new, and sleep is when much of this regeneration occurs. There are more possible iterations of a game of chess than there are atoms in the known universe, the complexity arising from simple rules applied repeatedly. And your mind is far more complex than chess, containing depths you've never fully explored, depths that reveal themselves in dreams. A sneeze travels out of your mouth at over 100 miles per hour, explosive and involuntary. But sleep is the opposite, gentle and chosen, slow and welcoming. The shortest war in history lasted between 38 and 45 minutes, fought between Britain and Zanzibar on August 27, 1896. A reminder that conflict is often brief, while peace can be enduring, and the peace of sleep can last through the whole night. Babies are born with approximately 300 bones, but adults have only 206 because many bones fuse together during development. We become more unified as we grow. Different parts coming together into integrated wholes, just as sleep integrates the experiences of the day into unified memory. A mantis shrimp can punch with the force of a .22 caliber bullet, cavitation bubbles forming in the water that are almost as hot as the surface of the sun, incredible power in a small creature. But you don't need power right now, you need gentleness, and sleep is the gentlest thing you can give yourself. The average cloud weighs about 1.1 million pounds, impossibly heavy yet suspended effortlessly in the sky through the miracle of distributed weight and atmospheric physics. And you too can suspend your worries, letting them float away as you sink down. Your body produces about 25 million new cells each second, an incomprehensible rate of regeneration, life constantly refreshing itself. Especially during the deep rest of sleep, when growth hormone is released and tissues repair themselves. The oldest known living tree is over 5,000 years old, a bristlecone pine in California that was already ancient when the pyramids were built, standing silent witness to millennia of sunrises and sunsets, of seasons changing and changing back. And it reminds us that some things endure, that rest and patience lead to longevity. A single bolt of lightning contains approximately 1 billion volts of electricity, enough to power a 100-watt light bulb for 3 months, concentrated energy in a momentary flash. But sleep is distributed energy, steady replenishment across hours, sustainable and nourishing. The human brain uses 20% of the body's energy, despite being only 2% of body weight, a hungry organ that needs rest, that needs sleep to clear away the metabolic waste products that accumulate during waking hours. Sloths move so slowly that algae grows on their fur, creating a miniature ecosystem, showing us that slow movement is not wrong, that there's no rush, that taking your time is natural and right, especially now as you take your time falling asleep. The probability of you existing at all is approximately 1 in 400 trillion, an impossibly unlikely miracle, and yet here you are, and here you deserve to rest. A woodpecker's tongue wraps around its skull to protect its brain from the impact of pecking, nature's ingenious shock absorber. But tonight there are no shocks, no impacts, only softness and safety. The Great Wall of China is not actually visible from space, with the naked eye despite the common myth, reminding us that some things we believe are not quite accurate. And perhaps the belief that you can't sleep is also not quite accurate. Perhaps sleep is closer than you think. Horses can sleep standing up, but they need to lie down for REM sleep, deep rest that can only come in vulnerable positions. And you too are in a vulnerable position now, lying down, trusting, letting your guard down, allowing deep rest. The longest hiccuping episode lasted 68 years, from 1922 to 1990, but most things don't last forever, including your wakefulness tonight, which is already fading. A single teaspoon of a neutron star weighs about 6 billion tons, matter so dense it defies imagination, but your eyelids right now are light, so light they can barely stay open, weightless and heavy at the same time. The speed of a sneeze can exceed 100 miles per hour, but sleep comes to you at its own pace, unhurried, certain, inevitable. The human body contains enough fat to make 7 bars of soap, enough iron to make a 3-inch nail, enough carbon to fill 9,000 pencils, enough phosphorus for 2,200 matches, enough water to fill a 10-gallon tank. You are a walking collection of elements that formed in the hearts of dying stars billions of years ago. And now those elements are tired, ready to rest. Dolphins have names for each other, unique whistle patterns that serve as identifiers. They call to each other across the ocean, and perhaps in your dreams you'll hear someone calling your name, inviting you deeper into rest. The Amazon River releases so much fresh water into the Atlantic Ocean that sailors can drink fresh water from the sea over 100 miles from shore. The river's influence extending far beyond its banks, just as the influence of good sleep extends into all areas of your waking life, making everything better, easier, more manageable. Bananas are berries, but strawberries are not. Our categories and classifications often surprising when examined closely, reminding us not to trust everything we think we know, including the thought that you might not be able to sleep. That thought is also possibly incorrect. The tongue is the strongest muscle in the body relative to its size, but even strong muscles need rest. Even your tongue is relaxing now, soft in your mouth, not pressed against teeth or palate. Just resting. A day on Jupiter lasts only about 10 hours, the massive planet spinning rapidly despite its size. But here on Earth your night can be long and restful, lasting as long as you need it to. The human heart creates enough pressure when it pumps to squirt blood 30 feet, incredible hydraulic power, that continues whether you're awake or asleep. Your faithful heart working always. Honey bees must visit approximately 2 million flowers to make 1 pound of honey, countless trips back and forth, endless work. But you don't need to work right now. You've worked enough. It's time to rest. The hottest temperature ever recorded on Earth was 134 degrees Fahrenheit in Death Valley. But you are comfortable now. Not too hot, not too cold, just right. Perfect conditions for sleep. Your brain is about 75% water, and staying hydrated helps cognitive function. But right now your brain doesn't need to function. It needs to rest. To clean itself through the glymphatic system that activates during sleep. A comet's tail always points away from the sun, pushed by solar wind, the tail streaming behind or ahead depending on the comet's direction of travel. And right now you can let everything stream away from you, all concerns pointing away, leaving you in peace. The largest living organism is a fungus in Oregon that covers over 2,000 acres, most of it underground, a vast network of mycelium connecting and communicating. Invisible cooperation happening beneath the surface, just as beneath your consciousness sleep is already preparing to take over. A single cloud can contain billions of water droplets, each one reflecting light, creating the white fluffiness we see from below, and perhaps you can imagine lying on a cloud, supported by billions of tiny droplets, floating safely in the sky. The average person spends 6 months of their lifetime waiting for red lights to turn green, time that feels wasted, but is actually necessary for safety and order. And sleep, too, might sometimes feel like time you could be using for something else, but it's necessary. It's when your body and mind perform essential maintenance. A chameleon's tongue is twice the length of its body and can reach full extension in 1/100th of a second, incredible speed and precision. But sleep doesn't require speed or precision, only patience and allowing. The oldest living animal is a Greenland shark that scientists estimate to be over 500 years old, swimming in cold northern waters since before Shakespeare wrote his plays. Ancient and slow-moving and persistent, surviving through rest and steadiness. Your bones are about 31% water. Even the hardest parts of you are mostly fluid, flexible, adaptive, capable of healing and change. A hummingbird's heart beats up to 1,200 times per minute, incredibly fast, burning energy at an astonishing rate. But your heart right now is slowing, coming to its resting rate. 60 beats per minute or fewer, calm and steady. The deepest part of the ocean is the Mariana Trench, nearly 7 miles deep, where the pressure is over 8 tons per square inch. Darkness absolute, yet life exists even there. Adapted to impossible conditions, showing that life is extraordinarily resilient, that you are resilient, that you'll wake tomorrow ready to face whatever comes. A single raindrop contains more molecules than there are stars in the known universe, incomprehensible numbers, the very small containing more than the very large. Infinity existing in a drop of water, and infinity exists in this moment too. This present moment of rest containing everything you need. The sun is so large that roughly 1.3 million Earths could fit inside it, and yet it's only a medium-sized star, not particularly remarkable in the cosmic scale. Reminding us of perspective, that our problems are smaller than they seem when viewed from a distance. Your stomach acid is strong enough to dissolve metal, yet your stomach lining protects you from it, regenerating constantly, your body knowing how to protect itself, how to maintain boundaries, how to keep you safe, and you are safe now in this bed, in this room, in this night. A bolt of lightning is only about 1 inch wide but over 5 miles long, immense length in a narrow space, tremendous energy in a thin channel. But your energy right now is spreading wide and thin. dissipating into relaxation. The average person walks past 36 murderers in their lifetime, according to statistical models, strangers passing on streets, but right now there are no strangers, no danger. Only the safe darkness of your room and the approaching presence of sleep. A flea can jump 150 times its own height, equivalent to a human jumping 1,000 feet straight up. Incredible power in a tiny body. But you don't need to jump. You don't need power. You only need to lie still and let sleep come to you. The Earth travels through space at 67,000 miles per hour, hurtling around the Sun, and the Sun itself moves through the galaxy, and the galaxy moves through the universe. Everything in constant motion, but relative to your bed you are perfectly still, unmoving at rest. Octopuses have distributed intelligence with neurons in their arms, each arm capable of semi-independent action, the creature thinking with its whole body. And perhaps you too can think with your whole body, sensing how every part of you is ready to sleep. A small percentage of people see extra colors due to having 4 types of cone cells in their eyes instead of 3. Their world richer and more varied than they can explain to others. And your inner world is also richer than you can explain, full of colors and experiences unique to you. The Amazon rainforest creates its own weather patterns, generating about half of its own rainfall, a self-sustaining system, and you too are a self-sustaining system, creating the conditions you need to rest and recover. The average human body contains enough DNA to stretch from the Sun to Pluto and back 17 times, millions of miles of genetic code coiled impossibly tight in your cells. Instructions for building and maintaining you, and right now those instructions say rest, recover, sleep. A sneeze can spray droplets up to 26 feet away at speeds over 100 miles per hour, explosive dispersion, but your breaths now are gentle, contained, slow. Each exhale releasing more tension, each inhale bringing more calm. The longest recorded flight of a chicken is 13 seconds, barely time to cross a yard. But you don't need to fly, you're already where you need to be, already on your way to where you're going, which is deeper into sleep. Scientists estimate there are more trees on Earth than stars in the Milky Way galaxy. Approximately 3 trillion trees to 400 billion stars. Abundance here on Earth. Richness beneath our feet, and you are rooted here like a tree, grounded, stable, growing even in rest. Your eyes are the same size now as they were when you were born. They don't grow, but everything else about you has changed, growing and developing and becoming who you are. And sleep is part of that becoming, essential to growth and development and healing. A glass of water contains more atoms than there are glasses of water in all the oceans of the world. Another example of how the very small vastly outnumbers the very large. And perhaps this reminds you that even small things are important, even quiet moments matter, even the simple act of sleeping is profoundly significant. The human nose can remember 50,000 different scents, an enormous olfactory library, and maybe you can remember a scent that brings you peace. Your grandmother's perfume or the smell of rain on dirt or bread baking, calling up that memory and letting it relax you further. Polar bears are nearly invisible under infrared cameras, their fur so efficiently insulating them that little heat escapes, perfectly adapted to their frozen environment. And you too are adapted to your environment, your body knowing exactly how to respond to darkness and quiet, knowing that it's time to sleep. A single strand of spider silk is thinner than human hair but 5 times stronger than steel of the same thickness, nature's high-tech material. And the threads of thought that connect your waking to your sleeping are also incredibly strong, pulling you reliably into rest. The universe contains more stars than grains of sand on all the beaches of Earth, and yet you are here on 1 grain of sand, on 1 planet orbiting 1 star in 1 galaxy. And that's exactly where you should be, right here, right now, falling asleep. Your blood travels 12,000 miles through your body every day, 4 times the distance from New York to California, a journey repeated constantly. Circulation bringing oxygen and nutrients to every cell, carrying away waste, your blood flowing even now as you rest, doing its work without your conscious attention. A blue whale's heart beats only 5 times per minute and is the size of a small car, slow, powerful pumping, and your heart too can rest, can beat gently and steadily while you sleep. The fingerprints of koalas are so similar to human fingerprints that they have occasionally confused crime scene investigators. Surprising similarity between distant species. But there's no mystery here, no crime, only the simple natural act of sleep. Light from the sun takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds to reach Earth, meaning we see the sun as it was 8 minutes ago. We live in the past of distant things. And perhaps your worries too are from the past, things that have already happened or haven't happened yet, not here in this present moment where only sleep is happening. A single human brain generates more electrical impulses in one day than all the telephones in the world combined. Incredible computational power. But right now your brain is powering down. Entering rest mode, preparing for the maintenance and consolidation that happens during sleep. The Pacific Ocean contains more water than all other oceans, seas, rivers, and lakes combined, vast beyond comprehension. And the peace available to you right now is also vast beyond comprehension. Deep as the deepest ocean, wide as the widest horizon. Your liver performs over 500 different functions and is the only internal organ that can regenerate from as little as 25% of its original mass. Incredible resilience and adaptability. Your body constantly performing miracles of chemistry to keep you alive and healthy. A single bolt of lightning generates ozone gas, the distinctive smell after thunderstorms, nature's chemistry creating that clean, fresh scent, and perhaps you can imagine that scent now. The air after rain, clean and new, like how you'll feel after sleeping. The human eye blinks approximately 17 times per minute, or 14,000 times per day, or 5 million times per year, automatic protection for your precious vision. And soon your eyes won't need to blink because they'll be closed, resting, protected by your eyelids through the night. Butterflies can see colors that humans cannot, including ultraviolet light, their world more vivid than ours in ways we can only imagine. And dreams too show us colors and experiences beyond waking life, the mind creating its own vivid realities. The Earth's core is as hot as the surface of the sun, about 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, incredible heat at the center of our planet. But you are cool and comfortable, not too warm, relaxing. Releasing heat through your skin as your body temperature drops into the sleep zone. A single human hair can support about 3 ounces of weight, and a whole head of hair could theoretically support about 12 tons. Incredible strength in something we consider delicate. And you too are stronger than you think, capable of carrying much, but tonight you don't have to carry anything, you can set it all down and rest. The shortest war in history was between Britain and Zanzibar, and lasted between 38 and 45 minutes. While the longest war was the 335 years war between the Netherlands and the Isles of Scilly, which was largely bloodless and ended in 1986. Showing that conflict has many forms and durations, but peace is what we seek, and peace is what you're finding now. A day on Mercury lasts longer than its year, the planet rotating so slowly that the sun rises and sets in strange patterns. But here on Earth day and night are balanced, predictable, reliable. And night has arrived, bringing its gift of rest and darkness and sleep. Your fingernails grow about 3.5 millimeters per month, slow, continuous growth that you never notice until suddenly you realize they need cutting, life proceeding gradually. change happening in increments, and sleep too comes in increments, gradually, almost imperceptibly, until suddenly you realize you're already drifting. The human body contains enough carbon to fill 9,000 pencils, enough iron to make a 3-inch nail, enough fat to make 7 bars of soap, enough water to fill a 10-gallon tank. We are made of ordinary materials arranged in extraordinary ways, alive and conscious and capable of sleep. The average cumulus cloud weighs about 1.1 million pounds despite appearing weightless, floating on air currents through precise balance of temperature and density. And you too can float now, weightless on your bed, supported perfectly, needing no effort to remain at rest. Sharks are older than trees, having existed for over 400 million years, while trees only appeared about 350 million years ago. Ancient forms persisting through countless changes, and sleep too is ancient, older than humanity, a biological necessity written into our genes. A single teaspoon of honey represents the life work of 12 bees, countless flights to flowers and back, cooperation and effort resulting in sweetness, but your work today is done. And now is the time for rest, for receiving rather than producing. The longest living cells in your body are brain cells, which last your entire lifetime, the same neurons you had as a child still functioning in your adult brain. Maintaining continuity of self across decades, and those neurons need sleep to function optimally, to clear away metabolic waste, to strengthen important connections and prune unnecessary ones. Venus rotates in the opposite direction to most planets, spinning backwards on its axis, and a day there lasts longer than a year. Strange physics on that hellish world where temperatures reach 800 degrees Fahrenheit, but here you are safe and comfortable, in a place where time moves normally, where night reliably brings sleep. The human heart beats about 100,000 times per day, 3 billion times over an average lifetime, never resting more than a fraction of a second between beats. Your most faithful companion from your first moment to your last, and you can trust it to keep beating as you sleep, keeping you alive without any conscious effort. A photon takes 40,000 years to travel from the sun's core to its surface, bouncing and scattering through dense matter. But once it reaches the surface, it takes only 8 minutes to reach Earth, the journey's last leg the fastest, and your journey into sleep is also nearly complete. The last leg is always the easiest. You're almost there. The Great Barrier Reef is the largest structure ever built by living organisms, stretching over 1,400 miles, visible from space, built slowly by countless tiny coral polyps, showing that small efforts accumulate into immense achievements, and each night of good sleep is a small effort that accumulates into a healthy life. Your eyes have a visual processing speed of around 60 frames per second, but right now they're not processing anything, closed against the darkness, resting, recovering from a day of constant work, translating photons into electrical signals, giving you the gift of sight. A blue whale's tongue can weigh as much as an elephant. This colossal marine mammal, the largest animal ever to have existed on Earth, even larger than any dinosaur. And yet it feeds on some of the smallest creatures, tiny krill, the enormous sustained by the minuscule, and you too are sustained by small things, by breaths and heartbeats, and tonight by simple rest. The Sahara Desert was a lush green landscape just 6,000 years ago, covered in vegetation and lakes, inhabited by humans and animals, showing that even deserts were once fertile. That change is constant, that what seems permanent is temporary, including your current state of wakefulness, which is already transforming into sleep. Lightning strikes Earth approximately 100 times every second, 8.6 million times per day, constant electrical discharge between ground and sky. But there's no electricity in you now, no tension, no charge, only the neutral peace of deep relaxation. Your skin is your largest organ, weighing about 8 pounds and covering approximately 22 square feet, a protective barrier that's also a sensory surface, and right now it's sensing softness. The gentle pressure of sheets and blankets, the perfect temperature, all signals saying you are safe, you can rest. A mantis shrimp has the most complex eyes in the animal kingdom, with 16 types of photoreceptor cells compared to our 3, seeing colors we can't imagine, perceiving circular polarized light. Their reality richer than ours, and perhaps in dreams you too see impossible colors, experience impossible things, the brain freed from physical constraints. The speed of sound is approximately 767 miles per hour at sea level, but sound travels faster through water and even faster through steel. The denser the medium, the faster the transmission, and right now the sound of silence travels through your room, the absence of noise that helps sleep spread through your body and mind. Your brain generates beta waves when alert, alpha waves when relaxed, theta waves when drowsy, and delta waves in deep sleep, a measurable shift in electrical patterns as consciousness changes states. And your waves are shifting now, slowing, dropping in frequency, preparing for the delta waves of deep restorative sleep. A single raindrop can contain over 1 million cloud droplets that have merged together, countless tiny water particles joining to form something large enough to fall. And your many moments of relaxation are joining together to form something large enough to pull you into sleep. The driest place on Earth is the Atacama Desert in Chile, where parts have received no rainfall in recorded history, absolute aridity. Yet even their extremophile bacteria survive in the soil. Life finding a way even in impossible conditions, resilience beyond comprehension, and you too will find your way to sleep even if it has seemed difficult lately. Your liver can regenerate itself completely from just 25% of its original tissue, incredible regenerative power, this organ quietly performing hundreds of functions essential to life. Detoxifying chemicals, producing bile, storing energy, and much of this work happens while you sleep, your liver working overtime to clean and restore your body. The oldest known material on Earth is stardust found in meteorites, dust grains that formed before our sun existed, 7 billion years old, ancient beyond imagining. And this ancient dust became part of Earth, and Earth's materials became part of you. You are made of the oldest things in the universe, and now these old things are tired, ready to rest. A sneeze travels at about 100 miles per hour and can spray droplets up to 26 feet, but your breaths now are barely moving the air, so gentle, so slow. Inhaling and exhaling in a rhythm that gets slower with each cycle, your respiratory rate dropping as sleep approaches. The human body contains about 7 octillion atoms, 7 followed by 27 zeros, an incomprehensible number of particles somehow organized into a coherent whole, into you. And all those atoms are vibrating right now, their quantum jitter creating the solidity you perceive. But on another level, you're mostly empty space, mostly potential, mostly mystery. The Pacific Ocean covers more surface area than all the land on Earth combined. Vast blue wilderness containing most of Earth's water and most of Earth's life, depth and darkness below. And you too can sink into depth and darkness, into the ocean of sleep where consciousness dissolves and dreams swim like strange fish. Your heart pumps about 2,000 gallons of blood through your body every day, 5 quarts cycling continuously, traveling through 60,000 miles of blood vessels. A closed-loop system that never stops, and right now it's pumping more slowly, less urgently, your body entering its nighttime rhythm. A single human red blood cell makes about 250,000 round trips through your body, before wearing out after about 120 days. Tireless service followed by recycling in your spleen, constant renewal. And you too are entitled to renewal through sleep. The coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth was -128.6 degrees Fahrenheit at Vostok Station in Antarctica, so cold that exposed skin would freeze in seconds. But you are perfectly warm, comfortably covered, safe from extremes in the ideal conditions for sleep. The human eye can detect a candle flame from 30 miles away on a dark, clear night, remarkable sensitivity. But right now, there's nothing you need to detect, no dangers to watch for, no threats requiring vigilance. You can close your eyes completely and trust that you're safe. A bolt of lightning is about 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun, brief fusion-level heat ripping through the atmosphere. But there are no lightning bolts here, no sudden shocks, only the gradual, gentle settling of your body into rest. The Amazon River discharges approximately 200 billion gallons of fresh water into the Atlantic Ocean every day. So much water that the ocean becomes less salty for hundreds of miles from shore, the river's influence extending far beyond its banks. And sleep's influence extends far beyond the hours you spend sleeping, affecting your entire life, your health, your mood, your ability to think and feel and be. Your bones are 4 times stronger than concrete, weight for weight, evolved over millions of years to support and protect living tissue that constantly remodels itself, breaking down old bone and building new bone, especially during sleep when growth hormone is released. A sneeze can expel particles at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour, involuntary explosion. But right now nothing is explosive. Everything is quiet, settling, slowing. Even your thoughts are becoming less frequent, more peaceful, like clouds dispersing in a summer sky. The longest hiccuping episode lasted 68 years, from 1922 to 1990. Charles Osborne of Iowa hiccuping an estimated 430 million times. An unimaginable burden, but your burdens tonight are light, lifted, set aside. You carry nothing into sleep. The Earth's atmosphere is about 300 miles thick, a thin skin of gas that protects us from space, contains our weather, makes life possible, and you are breathing that atmosphere now. The same air that has been circling the Earth for billions of years, breathed by everyone who has ever lived, connecting you to all humanity, and all of humanity sleeps, has always slept, will always sleep. Your brain is about 60% fat, making it the fattiest organ in your body, all that fat serving as insulation for neurons, helping electrical signals travel faster. And right now, those signals are changing, shifting from the beta waves of alertness to the alpha waves of relaxation to the theta waves of drowsiness, soon to become the delta waves of deep sleep. A single tablespoon of neutron star material would weigh about 10 billion tons, matter compressed to impossible density. But your concerns have no such density. They're light as air, easy to release, floating away like helium balloons into the night sky. The human nose can detect certain substances at concentrations as low as 1 part per trillion, extraordinarily sensitive. But right now, there's nothing alarming to detect. Only perhaps the faint scent of clean sheets or your own familiar smell, comforting and safe. A day on Saturn lasts only about 10.5 hours, but a year there is 29 Earth years. Strange relativity on that giant ringed planet. But here your night will last a proper length. 7 or 8 or 9 hours, exactly as long as your body needs. The average person produces enough saliva in their lifetime to fill 2 swimming pools. Constant production of this important fluid that begins digesting food and protects your teeth. But production slows dramatically when you sleep, your body conserving resources, focusing on other priorities. Your fingernails grow faster than your toenails, and the nail on your middle finger grows fastest of all, curious asymmetries in your body's growth patterns. But all growth slows at night, shifting into repair mode instead of building mode. The sun accounts for 99.86% of all the mass in our solar system. The planets and moons and asteroids mere crumbs by comparison. We orbit a giant ball of fusion fire at 93 million miles distance, close enough for warmth but far enough for safety. And you too have found the right distance tonight. Close enough to comfort but far enough from worry. A human heart beats about 3 billion times over an average lifetime, tireless pumping from before birth until death. Your first sound in the womb was probably your mother's heartbeat. Primal rhythm that meant safety and life. And your own heartbeat can soothe you now, steady and sure, the sound of your life continuing. The speed of light is the universal speed limit. Nothing with mass can reach it. Nothing can exceed it. Photons zipping through the vacuum of space at 186,000 miles per second. But right now you're not going anywhere, perfectly still, at rest relative to your bed. And that's exactly right. The human body contains about 78 organs, though the exact count depends on how you classify them, all working together in spectacular coordination, no central control room. Just millions of cells cooperating to keep you alive, and this cooperation continues while you sleep, perhaps works even better while you sleep when it's not managing waking demands. A single bolt of lightning is about 1 inch in diameter, but can be 5 miles long, incredible length in a narrow channel. And the channel from waking to sleeping is also narrow. You're passing through it now, almost on the other side, almost fully asleep. The Mariana Trench is 7 miles deep, the deepest part of the ocean, where pressure is over 8 tons per square inch, and the temperature hovers just above freezing, dark forever. Yet life exists even there. Fish and amphipods adapted to crushing pressure, and life is resilient. You are resilient. You will sleep tonight and wake tomorrow. Your stomach acid is strong enough to dissolve a razor blade, hydrochloric acid breaking down everything you eat. Incredible corrosive power kept safely contained by your stomach lining, which replaces itself every few days. Constant renewal, your body maintaining itself, protecting itself, healing itself. Especially during sleep. The fastest recorded wind speed on Earth was 253 miles per hour during Tropical Cyclone Olivia in 1996. Destructive force. But tonight the air is still, calm. Peaceful, no wind disturbing your rest. A human sneeze can travel at 100 miles per hour, faster than a car on the highway, explosive release. But your breaths are the opposite, slow and controlled and calm. Each one taking you deeper into relaxation, deeper into the approach to sleep. The Amazon rainforest produces about 6% of the world's oxygen, not 20% as often claimed, but still an enormous contribution, vast ecosystem breathing for the planet. And you too are breathing, participating in the great exchange of gases that connects all life. Your brain uses about 20% of your body's oxygen despite being only 2% of your body weight, hungry for energy, burning glucose and oxygen to maintain consciousness. But consciousness is expensive, and sleep is when your brain can reduce its energy consumption, can clean and restore itself. The oldest living organism is a Great Basin bristlecone pine tree in California, over 5,000 years old, older than the pyramids, older than written language. Witnessing the rise and fall of entire civilizations, persistent and patient, and you too can be patient, allowing sleep to come in its own time, which is now, right now, already happening. A bolt of lightning heats the air around it to 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. The air expanding so fast it creates the sonic boom we call thunder. But tonight there is no thunder, only the quiet sound of your breathing, slower and slower, barely audible. The human eye can distinguish about 10 million different colors, extraordinary sensory precision. But right now your eyes are closed, seeing only the darkness behind your eyelids. Perhaps some phosphenes, random firing of neurons creating faint lights and patterns, the visual system winding down for the night. Your heart creates enough pressure when pumping to squirt blood 30 feet into the air, hydraulic power. But right now that pressure is lowering, your blood pressure dropping as you relax. Less resistance in your blood vessels, easier flow, your cardiovascular system entering nighttime mode. The longest recorded flight of a chicken is 13 seconds, barely enough to clear a fence. Chickens being poor flyers despite having wings, but you don't need to fly. You're already where you need to be, already safe, already home, already on the edge of sleep. A teaspoon of honey represents the life work of 12 bees visiting thousands of flowers each, and you too have visited many places today, have done many things, have worked hard. And now you deserve rest, sweet rest, the reward for effort. The Pacific Ocean contains about 710 million cubic kilometers of water, most of the Earth's water, vast beyond human comprehension. And the peace available to you is also vast beyond comprehension, limitless, endless, as deep as you need it to be. Your blood travels 12,000 miles through your body every day, passing through your heart every minute, bringing oxygen and nutrients to every cell, carrying away carbon dioxide and waste. Tireless circulation that continues while you sleep, perhaps works more efficiently while you sleep. A mantis shrimp can punch with the acceleration of a .22 caliber bullet, creating cavitation bubbles in the water that produce light and heat, incredible violence in a small creature. But you are not violent, you are peaceful, calm, still, releasing all tension, letting everything go. The human skeleton completely replaces itself about every 10 years, old bone tissue breaking down and new bone tissue forming. You are literally not made of the same material you were made of a decade ago, constant change beneath the illusion of permanence, and sleep is part of this change, part of this renewal. Essential to growth and repair. A cloud can contain billions of water droplets, each one a tiny sphere of water suspended in air, the droplets so small they fall very slowly, appearing to float, and perhaps you too can float. Weightless, suspended between waking and sleeping, drifting gradually downward into deep rest. The speed of sound is 767 miles per hour in air at sea level, but sound travels faster in water and faster still in solids. The denser the medium, the faster the transmission. And right now sound is traveling slowly, perhaps not at all, silence filling your room, the absence of noise that makes space for sleep. Your liver performs over 500 different functions, this incredible organ quietly working every second of your life, detoxifying chemicals, producing proteins, storing energy, regulating metabolism, and much of its work intensifies during sleep when it's not competing with theoretically possible is absolute zero, minus 459.67 degrees Fahrenheit, where all molecular motion stops, but that's only theoretical. Never achieved, and you don't need to reach any absolute, you only need to relax enough to sleep, which doesn't require perfection, only allowing. A single raindrop can contain millions of molecules of water, each molecule made of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom, simple structure creating the substance essential for life. And right now water makes up about 60% of your body weight. You are mostly water, fluid and flowing, able to take any shape, able to pour yourself into sleep. The Great Wall of China is over 13,000 miles long if you count all the branches and historical sections, built over many centuries by millions of workers, human ambition made solid. But no Great Wall separates you from sleep. There's no barrier, no defense needed, you can surrender completely. Your heart pumps about 2,000 gallons of blood per day. 5 quarts circulating continuously through 60,000 miles of blood vessels, the same blood going round and round. Oxygen rich when red, oxygen poor when blue, The body's river system and rivers flow downhill, seeking the lowest point, and you too are flowing downhill now, seeking the lowest point of consciousness, which is sleep. The sun is so large that over 1 million Earths could fit inside it, incomprehensible scale. Our star a giant ball of hydrogen fusing into helium, releasing energy that takes 8 minutes to reach us, warming our planet, making life possible, and that same sun will rise tomorrow after you've slept, faithful as always. Your bones are living tissue, not dead material. Cells constantly breaking down old bone and building new bone, especially during sleep when growth hormone is released. Your skeleton renewing itself throughout your life. You are not static. You are dynamic, constantly changing, constantly healing. A single human red blood cell circulates through your body in about 20 seconds, making the complete circuit from heart to lungs to body and back again. 4,300 trips per day per cell. Tireless service, and right now they're carrying oxygen to your brain, to your muscles, to every part of you, maintaining life while you rest. The Atlantic Ocean is getting wider by about 1 inch per year as tectonic plates move apart, continents drifting slowly. The Earth's surface in constant motion, though imperceptible in human time scales, and sleep too is imperceptible. You can't see yourself falling asleep. You can only realize afterward that it happened. Your stomach produces about 2 liters of hydrochloric acid per day, enough to digest tough foods, protein and fiber breaking down in your stomach's acidic environment, but production slows at night. Your digestive system resting, energy diverted to other maintenance tasks. The fastest animal on Earth is the peregrine falcon, which can dive at speeds exceeding 240 miles per hour, faster than a race car, incredible velocity. But you are not moving fast. You are barely moving at all, perfectly still at rest, exactly where you should be. A human brain generates about 23 watts of power when awake, enough to power a small LED light bulb. Electrochemical activity creating measurable energy. But this generation decreases during sleep, your brain entering a more efficient mode, cleaning out metabolic waste products through the glymphatic system. The driest place on Earth is the Atacama Desert in Chile, where some areas have never received measurable rainfall in recorded history, absolute aridity, yet life persists even there. Showing that adaptation makes survival possible in any condition, and you too can adapt, can learn to sleep better, can improve this essential skill. Your eyes are the same size now as when you were born, about 1 inch in diameter. They don't grow. Though your ability to use them improved dramatically in early childhood as your brain learned to process visual information, and now, after a day of seeing, they need rest. Need the darkness behind closed lids. The largest volcano in the solar system is Olympus Mons on Mars, almost 3 times the height of Mount Everest. A shield volcano so gradual in slope that you could walk up it without realizing you were climbing a mountain. And sleep too is gradual, so gradual you don't notice the ascent. The gentle slope from waking to sleeping. Your heart beats about 100,000 times per day without you thinking about it. Automatic regulation by your autonomic nervous system, and this same system is now preparing you for sleep. Lowering your heart rate, decreasing your blood pressure, shifting you into parasympathetic mode, rest and digest rather than fight or flight. A bolt of lightning is plasma, the 4th state of matter, superheated gas stripped of electrons, conducting electricity through the air, brief and violent, but sleep is the opposite. Calm and sustained, peaceful rather than violent, restoration rather than destruction. The human body contains about 37 trillion cells, give or take a few trillion, each one a microscopic factory with its own membrane and organelles. And all of them working together to keep you alive, and many of them work better when you're asleep, dividing and repairing and producing proteins. Your brain waves slow from beta waves around 14 to 30 cycles per second when alert, to alpha waves around 8 to 13 cycles per second when relaxed, to theta waves around 4 to 7 cycles per second when drowsy, to delta waves less than 4 cycles per second in deep sleep. Measurable electrical activity, changing as consciousness shifts states. The longest living vertebrate is the Greenland shark, which can live over 400 years, swimming slowly in cold Arctic waters, ancient and patient, taking decades to reach maturity. And these sharks remind us that slow is not wrong, that patience is a virtue, that there's no rush, that you can take your time falling asleep. A sneeze expels air and droplets at over 100 miles per hour. Involuntary reflex to expel irritants from your nose, explosive and brief, but your breaths now are the opposite. Slow and controlled, voluntary or maybe becoming involuntary, as your conscious control slips away and sleep takes over. The Pacific Ocean is deeper than Mount Everest is tall, the Mariana Trench reaching down almost 7 miles while Everest rises about 5.5 miles, more extreme depth than height. And you too can go deep, deeper than you've been, down into the restorative depths of stage 3 and stage 4 sleep. Your blood is about 8% of your body weight, 5 to 6 quarts circulating constantly, plasma and red cells and white cells and platelets, each component with its own function. Liquid tissue flowing through your body, and right now it's flowing more slowly, your heart rate decreased, your blood pressure lower, your body entering night mode. The sun's core reaches 15 million degrees Celsius, hot enough to fuse hydrogen into helium, nuclear fusion creating the light and heat that makes Earth habitable. But you need no such heat. You are comfortable, not too hot, not too cold, the temperature perfect for sleep. Your liver weighs about 3 pounds and is your largest internal organ, sitting in your upper right abdomen, filtering blood, producing bile, storing glycogen, synthesizing proteins. Performing 500 functions simultaneously, tireless worker that intensifies many operations during sleep. A day on Neptune lasts about 16 hours, but a year there is 165 Earth years. The planet so far from the Sun that it takes nearly 2 centuries to complete one orbit. And yet its day is shorter than ours, strange ratios on distant worlds. Your skin replaces itself completely about every 28 days, dead cells sloughing off and new cells migrating up from below. You are constantly shedding and renewing. The body you inhabit is not the same body you inhabited last month, and sleep is essential to this renewal. The average human body produces about 1 liter of mucus per day, mostly swallowed unconsciously. This sticky substance protecting your respiratory tract and digestive system. Trapping dust and bacteria, keeping you healthy, production continuing while you sleep. A bolt of lightning carries about 1 billion volts of electricity and about 30,000 amps of current for a few microseconds. Brief, but immensely powerful, enough to kill instantly. But there's no danger here, only safety, only the gentle progression towards sleep. The oldest water on Earth is about 2 billion years old, found deep in mines in Canada. This water has been isolated from the surface for half the age of the Earth. Ancient liquid from an ancient world, and the water in your body, the 60% of you that's water, cycles through much faster, replaced every few weeks, constant exchange with the environment. Your heart is about the size of your fist, 4 chambers working together, 2 atria and 2 ventricles, valves opening and closing in perfect rhythm, lub-dub, the sound of life. And this sound continues while you sleep, uninterrupted, faithful, keeping you alive without any conscious effort on your part. The coldest naturally occurring place on Earth is a high ridge in Antarctica, where temperatures can drop to minus 133 degrees Fahrenheit. Cold enough to freeze carbon dioxide from the air, but you are warm, protected by shelter and blankets, safe from extremes, in the perfect environment for sleep. A single snowflake can contain up to 180 billion molecules of water, crystallized into unique and beautiful patterns, no two exactly alike, and each moment of your life is also unique. This moment now, this night, this opportunity to sleep, will never come again. This exact moment is singular, precious, passing. Your brain is about 75% water. This most complex organ in the known universe is mostly liquid, neurons firing across synapses, neurotransmitters flowing, electrical and chemical signals creating consciousness, thought, memory, emotion, everything you are, and all of this needs rest, needs sleep to function optimally. The speed of light in a vacuum is 186,282 miles per second, the fastest possible speed in the universe. Nothing with mass can reach it. Photons traveling through space at this cosmic speed limit. But right now speed doesn't matter. You're not racing towards sleep. You're drifting toward it, gently, slowly, naturally. Your bones are stronger than steel when compared pound for pound. This living tissue providing structure and protection, storing calcium, producing blood cells in the marrow. And bone density is affected by sleep. Growth hormone released during deep sleep helps maintain bone strength. A day on Mars is about 24 hours and 40 minutes, remarkably similar to Earth, so similar that human colonists would barely notice the difference. But we're not on Mars. We're here on Earth where night has fallen and sleep is calling. Your stomach has a capacity of about 1 liter when empty and can stretch to hold up to 4 liters when full, elastic organ designed to handle varying amounts of food. Strong muscular walls churning and mixing, but right now it's probably not full. You've digested your last meal, ready for the overnight fast that happens while you sleep. The sun converts 600 million tons of hydrogen into helium every second, mass becoming energy according to Einstein's famous equation, fusion in the core creating the light we see. And this process will continue for another 5 billion years before the sun swells into a red giant and eventually becomes a white dwarf. But that's far in the future, nothing to worry about tonight. Your eyes move rapidly during REM sleep, the stage where most vivid dreams occur, rapid eye movements beneath closed lids as if watching some internal movie. Brain activity similar to waking but body paralyzed to prevent acting out dreams, strange state between waking and deep sleep. A bolt of lightning creates ozone, the distinct smell you notice after thunderstorms. Oxygen molecules split apart by electricity and recombining into O3, nature's air freshener. But tonight there's no storm, only calm, only the peaceful darkness of your room. The human body contains enough phosphorus to make 2,200 matches, enough fat to make 7 bars of soap, enough iron to make a 3-inch nail, enough carbon to make 9,000 pencils. You are made of common elements arranged in uncommon ways, stardust organized into consciousness, and this consciousness needs sleep. Your heart pumps blood through your body with remarkable efficiency, using less energy than a light bulb, about 1 to 1.5 watts of power, hydraulics and muscle working together. And this efficiency continues while you sleep, maybe even improves while you sleep when demands are lower. The Earth's core is solid iron, despite being hotter than the surface of the sun, kept solid by immense pressure, surrounded by liquid outer core. Then the mantle, then the crust we live on. Layers within layers, and you too have layers. Conscious mind, subconscious mind, unconscious mind, and sleep allows access to deeper layers. A single cumulus cloud can weigh 1,000,000 pounds, water droplets suspended in air, floating despite impossible weight, physics and fluid dynamics creating the illusion of weightlessness. And you too can feel weightless, pressure of the day lifting, concerns floating away, nothing weighing you down anymore. Your blood circulates through your entire body in about 60 seconds, leaving your heart, traveling through arteries to capillaries to veins and back again. Complete circuit every minute. And your blood carries not just oxygen, but also nutrients, hormones, immune cells, everything needed to maintain life. The longest mountain range on Earth is actually underwater, the mid-ocean ridge system stretching for over 40,000 miles, volcanic mountains where tectonic plates pull apart. New ocean floor constantly being created, hidden beneath miles of water, showing us that the most massive features of our planet are invisible to us, just as sleep is invisible. We can't see it happening, only experience its effects. Your brain has about 86 billion neurons, each connected to thousands of other neurons, creating trillions of connections, a network more complex than anything humanity has ever built. And this network needs sleep to function, to prune unnecessary connections and strengthen important ones. A sneeze can expel 40,000 droplets, spreading germs up to 26 feet, which is why it's important to sneeze into your elbow. But right now there's no sneezing, only gentle breathing. In and out, slower and slower, each breath taking you deeper. The speed of sound in diamond is the fastest of any material, about 40,000 feet per second, compared to about 1,000 feet per second in air. The crystalline structure conducting vibrations rapidly, but you don't need speed. You need slowness, deceleration coming to rest. Your liver stores about 120 grams of glycogen, your body's short-term energy reserve, broken down into glucose when blood sugar drops. Maintaining energy availability even while you fast during sleep, the liver working through the night to keep you stable. A bolt of lightning generates X-rays and even gamma rays, high-energy radiation produced by the extreme conditions inside the plasma channel. Brief burst of the most energetic forms of light. But your light tonight is gentle, dim or dark, no harsh illumination, only the soft darkness that invites sleep. The human skeleton is composed of 206 bones in adults, though babies are born with about 300 bones that fuse together as they grow, this rigid framework providing structure. Protection for organs, attachment points for muscles, factory for blood cells, storage for minerals, living tissue that constantly remodels itself. Your heart's electrical system is self-contained, the sinoatrial node acting as a natural pacemaker, generating electrical impulses that spread through the heart muscle, causing coordinated contraction, beat after beat after beat, averaging 72 times per minute, over 100,000 times per day, never stopping except when you die. The oldest rocks on Earth are over 4 billion years old, found in Canada and Australia, nearly as old as the planet itself, witnesses to the Earth's early history. And these ancient stones are still here, patient, enduring, reminding us that some things last, that rest is not waste, that lying still like a stone is sometimes exactly what you need. A single flake of snow can take up to an hour to fall from cloud to ground, drifting slowly through the atmosphere, perhaps melting and refreezing multiple times, changing shape, no two alike. And your journey to sleep is also unique, your own pattern, your own pace. No one else's sleep is quite like yours. Your blood pressure naturally drops during sleep, giving your cardiovascular system a rest, your heart not working as hard, your arteries and veins not under as much stress. This nightly reduction in blood pressure is one reason why sleep is so important for heart health. The Sahara Desert expands and contracts over thousands of years, the climate cycling between wet and dry periods, currently in a dry phase but likely to become greener again in the future. Showing that even deserts change, that what seems permanent is temporary, including your current state of wakefulness. Your brain produces new neurons throughout your life, neurogenesis continuing into old age, new brain cells being born even though you're no longer a child. The brain remaining plastic and capable of growth and change, and sleep is essential for this process, for consolidating new learning, for integrating new neurons into existing networks. A bolt of lightning can strike the same place multiple times. The Empire State Building is struck about 23 times per year, tall structures attracting lightning. But you're not tall. You're horizontal, lying down, grounded, safe. No lightning will strike you as you sleep. The human eye can see objects as far away as 2.6 million light-years, the Andromeda Galaxy visible to naked eyes on dark nights. Photons that have traveled for millions of years ending their journey on your retina, ancient light from distant galaxies. But tonight your eyes see nothing, closed, resting, no light reaching them. Your muscles are composed of millions of muscle fibers, each one containing chains of sarcomeres that slide past each other to create contraction, coordinated pulling that moves your body. And these muscles have worked all day, walking and moving and holding you upright. But now they can relax completely, no longer needed, releasing all tension, becoming soft and heavy. The Great Red Spot on Jupiter is a storm that has been raging for at least 400 years, a hurricane larger than Earth, winds exceeding 400 miles per hour. Perpetual chaos on the giant planet, but here there is no storm, no chaos, only calm, only the peace that comes with letting go. Your body temperature drops by about 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit during sleep. This cooling is actually necessary for good sleep. Your brain needs to cool slightly to enter deep sleep stages. The drop beginning before you fall asleep as part of your circadian rhythm. A single hurricane can release the energy equivalent of 10,000 nuclear bombs. Nature's power unleashed, incredible force. But there's no hurricane here, no force, no power, only gentleness. Only the soft quiet that surrounds you. Your immune system is more active during sleep, producing cytokines that help fight infection and inflammation. This is one reason why sleep is so important when you're sick. Your body marshaling its defenses while you rest, healing happening in the darkness. The speed of Earth's rotation means you're moving at about 1,000 miles per hour if you're at the equator, less if you're farther north or south, spinning through space, yet you feel no motion. No wind, the atmosphere moving with the planet, and similarly sleep can feel motionless even though tremendous activity is happening in your brain and body. Your lungs contain about 300 million alveoli, tiny air sacs where oxygen enters your bloodstream and carbon dioxide exits, enormous surface area packed into your chest. And right now these alveoli are working more slowly, your breathing rate decreased, less oxygen needed when at rest. The oldest living animal is a clam found off the coast of Iceland, estimated to be over 500 years old, born during the Renaissance. Living quietly on the ocean floor through centuries of human history, showing that slow, quiet lives can be very long lives, that peace promotes longevity. A bolt of lightning creates nitrogen oxides in the atmosphere, which then fall to Earth in rain and help fertilize plants, destruction and creation together, violence serving life. But sleep is gentler, creation without destruction, building without tearing down. Your heart has its own electrical system, the sinoatrial node generating about 60 to 100 impulses per minute, spreading through the heart muscle via specialized conducting tissue, creating the coordinated contraction that pumps blood, and this system continues automatically while you sleep, requiring no conscious attention. The universe is expanding, galaxies moving away from each other as space itself grows, the cosmic horizon receding, but you're not expanding, you're contracting, pulling inward, focusing inward. Attention narrowing to just your breath, just your body, just this moment. Your skin is covered in about 5 million hairs, though only about 100,000 are on your scalp, each hair growing from a follicle, cycling through growth phases. Most of your hair is actually dead keratin protein, but the follicles are alive, and some growth happens during sleep when resources are available. The loudest sound ever recorded was the eruption of Krakatoa in 1883, heard 3,000 miles away, the explosion equivalent to 200 megatons of TNT. But tonight there are no loud sounds, only quiet, only the barely audible sound of your breathing, the whisper of blood in your ears. Your bones are about 31% water. Even your hardest tissues are partly fluid, the mineral matrix surrounded by living cells and blood vessels. Constant activity within what appears static, and bone remodeling happens during sleep, old bone broken down and new bone built. A single tree can absorb 48 pounds of carbon dioxide per year and release enough oxygen for 2 people. Photosynthesis converting sunlight and air into sugar and oxygen. But trees don't work at night. They rest too. Stomata closed, respiration slowed, even plants need rest periods. Your brain shrinks slightly during sleep, allowing cerebrospinal fluid to flush through the tissue and clear away metabolic waste products, the glymphatic system activating when you're unconscious. Cleaning your brain, removing the day's accumulated toxins. The Pacific Ocean contains about 710 million cubic kilometers of water, more than half of all the Earth's ocean water, deepest and largest ocean, and sleep is similarly vast. Deeper and larger than we often realize, containing mysteries we've barely begun to explore. Your blood contains red cells, white cells, platelets, and plasma, each component essential, red cells carrying oxygen, white cells fighting infection, platelets helping blood clot. Plasma carrying nutrients and hormones, complex mixture flowing through you, keeping you alive. A bolt of lightning heats the channel of air to about 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit in microseconds, thermal shock creating the boom of thunder, but heating is followed by cooling. The air returning to normal temperature almost instantly, and your day's heat is similarly giving way to night's coolness, your body temperature dropping, preparing for sleep. The human eye can adjust to see in almost complete darkness after about 30 minutes, rhodopsin regenerating in rod cells, allowing night vision, but you don't need to see anything now. Your eyes are closed, resting, no vision needed when sleeping. Your liver can filter about 1.4 liters of blood per minute, removing toxins and waste products, synthesizing proteins, producing bile. An amazing chemical processing plant operating constantly, and liver function actually increases during certain sleep stages, detoxification continuing while you rest. The slowest fish in the world is the dwarf seahorse, moving at about 0.01 miles per hour, nearly motionless, drifting with currents, patient hunter waiting for prey to come close. And you too can be patient, nearly motionless, letting sleep come to you rather than chasing it. Your stomach's muscular walls churn food through peristaltic contractions, mixing it with acid and enzymes, but this churning slows dramatically during sleep. Digestion continuing but at a reduced rate, your body's energy diverted to other maintenance tasks. A single raindrop can take up to an hour to fall from cloud to ground, depending on altitude and air currents, sometimes evaporating before reaching Earth, sometimes making the full journey. And your journey to sleep has also taken time, but you're nearly there now, almost fully asleep, just a few moments more. The human skeleton contains more calcium than any other element except oxygen, carbon, and hydrogen, this mineral making bones hard and strong. Stored in the bone matrix and released when blood calcium drops, bones serving as both structure and mineral bank. Your heart muscle is unique. Cardiac muscle cells linked together with gap junctions, allowing electrical impulses to spread rapidly, creating synchronized contraction. Different from skeletal muscle and smooth muscle, specialized tissue that never rests, never stops beating from your first day to your last. The Antarctic ice sheet contains 90% of all the ice on Earth and 70% of the world's fresh water, frozen continent at the bottom of the world. Temperatures dropping to minus 130 degrees in winter, yet life persists even there. Penguins and seals and microscopic organisms, showing that life adapts to any condition. Your blood carries oxygen from lungs to tissues and carbon dioxide from tissues to lungs. Constant exchange of gases. Hemoglobin in red blood cells binding reversibly to oxygen, releasing it where needed, picking up carbon dioxide, the chemistry of respiration happening automatically. A bolt of lightning follows the path of least resistance through the air, seeking ground, drawn to tall objects and conductive materials, nature following physics. Electrons flowing where flow is easiest, and you too are following the path of least resistance now, not fighting sleep, not resisting, allowing it to happen naturally. The average cloud contains about 1 million pounds of water, impossibly heavy yet floating effortlessly, droplets so small they're suspended by air currents, falling so slowly that updrafts keep them aloft, and perhaps you too feel weightless now, floating, suspended between waking and sleeping. Your pancreas produces insulin to regulate blood sugar, releasing this hormone when glucose levels rise, telling cells to absorb sugar from blood, maintaining homeostasis. And insulin secretion follows a circadian rhythm, lowest in early morning, highest in evening, your body knowing what time it is even without clocks. The Great Barrier Reef is over 1,400 miles long, the world's largest coral reef system, home to thousands of species, built slowly by tiny coral polyps over thousands of years, showing that patient accumulation creates enormous structures, just as each night of good sleep accumulates into a healthy life. Your intestines are about 25 feet long total, small intestine about 20 feet and large intestine about 5 feet, coiled and folded to fit in your abdomen. This long tube digesting food and absorbing nutrients, working constantly, though activity decreases during sleep. A sneeze can travel at 100 miles per hour and spray droplets up to 30 feet, but your breaths now are barely moving air, so gentle and slow. Possibly the slowest breathing of your entire day, the calm rhythm of approaching sleep. The human brain can process images in as little as 13 milliseconds, incredibly fast visual processing, but right now it's processing nothing, no images, no visual input, your eyes closed. Your mind drifting, thoughts becoming less frequent, less coherent, dissolving into the randomness that precedes dreams. Your body contains about 60,000 miles of blood vessels if laid end to end, enough to circle the earth more than twice, intricate network reaching every tissue, every cell, bringing oxygen and nutrients, removing waste, this vast circulatory system working tirelessly. The deepest point in the ocean is Challenger Deep in the Mariana Trench, almost 7 miles down, pressure there over 1,000 times atmospheric pressure at sea level. Crushing darkness where only specialized creatures survive, showing that life exists in the most extreme environments, that adaptation makes the impossible possible. Your muscles are about 40% of your body weight, more than any other single tissue type. Hundreds of muscles allowing movement and maintaining posture, but right now they're relaxed, soft. Heavy, no tension anywhere, completely at rest, preparation for sleep. A hummingbird's wings beat about 80 times per second during normal flight, up to 200 times per second during courtship dives. Incredible speed and energy expenditure. But you're not expending energy, you're conserving it, storing it, preparing to replenish it during sleep. Your brain produces melatonin as darkness falls, this hormone making you sleepy, levels rising in evening, peaking around 2 or 3 a.m., then declining toward morning. natural chemical signal telling you it's time to sleep, working with your circadian rhythm to regulate sleep-wake cycles. The speed of a falling raindrop reaches about 20 miles per hour regardless of the height from which it falls. Terminal velocity reached when air resistance equals gravitational pull. The drop falling at constant speed from then on, and your descent into sleep is also reaching terminal velocity, steady progression, consistent rate, no acceleration needed. Just continuing at this gentle pace. Your heart valves open and close over 100,000 times per day. Aortic valve, pulmonary valve, mitral valve, tricuspid valve, each ensuring one-way flow of blood, preventing backflow. Maintaining circulation, these thin tissues working constantly, supported by strands of connective tissue, held in place by the heart's architecture. The largest cave chamber in the world is in Vietnam, big enough to fit an entire city block including 40-story buildings, carved by water over millions of years, limestone slowly dissolving. Enormous void created by patience and persistence, showing that slow processes create vast results, that time transforms everything. Your liver weighs about 3 pounds and can regenerate from as little as 25% of its original mass, unique among organs in this ability. This regenerative power allowing liver donors to give part of their liver to save someone's life, both donor and recipient eventually having complete livers. A bolt of lightning typically carries about 30,000 amperes of current, though some strikes carry up to 120,000 amperes. Compared to the 0.1 to 0.2 amperes of your brain's electrical activity, many orders of magnitude difference, lightning being violent and brief, while brain activity is gentle and sustained. The human nose can detect about 1 trillion different odors according to recent research, far more than previously thought, this chemical sense protecting us from danger and guiding us toward food. But right now there's nothing you need to smell, nothing alerting you, only perhaps the comforting familiar scent of your own bed. Your kidneys filter about 150 quarts of blood per day, removing waste products and excess water, producing about 1 to 2 quarts of urine. These bean-shaped organs working constantly to maintain fluid balance and remove toxins, and kidney function follows a circadian rhythm, producing less urine at night so sleep isn't interrupted. The oldest tree ring record goes back over 12,000 years, overlapping sequences of tree rings allowing scientists to date wood samples precisely, each ring representing 1 year of growth. Wider rings in good years, narrow rings in drought years, trees recording climate history in their bodies. Your blood plasma is 92% water, the liquid portion of blood carrying cells and proteins and nutrients, maintaining blood pressure through osmotic balance. And you need to stay hydrated for optimal function, though if you've had water before bed, you should be fine through the night. A single honeybee will visit about 5,000 flowers in her lifetime and produce only 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey, incredible effort for tiny return. But collectively, the hive produces enough honey to survive winter, cooperation making abundance from scarcity, many small efforts creating large results. The Earth travels around the Sun at about 67,000 miles per hour, completing one orbit in 365.25 days. We're hurtling through space faster than we can imagine, yet we feel no motion, no acceleration, moving together with our planet, and you too are moving without feeling motion. Shifting from waking to sleeping, transition so smooth you won't notice exactly when it happens. Your heart's left ventricle does the most work, pumping oxygen-rich blood to your entire body, the muscular wall thicker than the right ventricle which only pumps blood to the nearby lungs. Evolved asymmetry reflecting different demands, and even this hardworking chamber rests between beats, the diastolic phase when the heart fills with blood before the next contraction. The fastest growing plant is bamboo, some species growing up to 3 feet per day, fast enough to watch if you're patient. The grass-like plant actually being incredibly strong despite its hollow stems, stronger than steel in tensile strength weight for weight, showing that fast growth doesn't mean weakness. Your cells divide about 2 trillion times per day, replacing cells that have worn out, maintaining your body, constant renewal. You are not the same collection of cells you were yesterday. Literally different material arranged in the same pattern, and most cell division happens at night when resources are available and other demands are low. A blue whale's heart is the size of a small car, weighing about 400 pounds, each heartbeat pumping about 60 gallons of blood, but beating only 5 to 6 times per minute. Slow, powerful pumping sufficient for the world's largest animal, and your heart too can beat gently, can rest between beats. The human eye has about 126 million photoreceptor cells, rods for dim light and motion, cones for color and detail, distributed across the retina, sending signals through the optic nerve to the visual cortex. But right now these photoreceptors are quiet, unstimulated, no light reaching them, resting in darkness. Your brain consolidates memories during sleep, transferring information from short-term storage in the hippocampus to long-term storage in the cortex, strengthening important memories and letting unimportant ones fade. This process essential for learning, which is why students who sleep after studying remember more than those who stay awake. The Pacific Ocean is so vast that if you placed every continent in it, there would still be room for another Africa, incomprehensible size. Over 60 million square miles of water, deepest. Largest ocean, containing more water than all other oceans combined. And the piece available to you is similarly vast, unlimited, as deep and wide as you need it to be. Your stomach produces about 2 liters of gastric juice per day, hydrochloric acid and enzymes breaking down food. This corrosive mixture kept safely contained by mucus lining. The stomach protecting itself from its own acid, remarkable resilience built into your body's design. A bolt of lightning generates X-rays and even gamma rays, the most energetic forms of electromagnetic radiation, brief burst of high-energy photons, but your energy tonight is low frequency, gentle. Calm, no bursts, no spikes, only the steady low hum of a resting body. The human skeleton serves multiple functions beyond support, producing blood cells in the bone marrow, storing minerals, protecting organs, providing attachment points for muscles. This living framework constantly remodeling itself, old bone absorbed and new bone deposited. The skeleton you had 10 years ago is literally not the skeleton you have now. Your lungs can hold about 6 liters of air at maximum capacity, though normal breathing uses only about half a liter per breath, the tidal volume moving in and out with each respiration. And right now your breaths are probably using even less, shallow, gentle breaths sufficient for resting metabolism. The Great Pyramid of Giza was the tallest human-made structure in the world for over 3,800 years, built about 4,500 years ago. Millions of limestone blocks placed with remarkable precision, and this ancient structure reminds us that what is built well endures, that foundations matter, and sleep is the foundation of health, the basis on which everything else rests. Your blood pressure follows a circadian rhythm, lowest during sleep, rising in early morning, highest in afternoon, declining again in evening, this daily cycle regulated by your biological clock. And lying down helps reduce blood pressure, the horizontal position making it easier for your heart to circulate blood. A single bolt of lightning lasts about 0.2 seconds, brief flash of plasma connecting cloud and ground. But the thunder can rumble for several seconds as sound waves from different parts of the bolt reach you at different times, stretched out in time, though the lightning itself was brief. The human body is about 7% carbon by weight, this versatile element forming the backbone of organic molecules. Four bonds allowing complex structures, chains and rings and branches. The chemistry of life based on carbon's unique properties. And you are made of carbon atoms that formed in dying stars billions of years ago. Your immune system includes many types of white blood cells, each with specialized functions: neutrophils attacking bacteria, lymphocytes producing antibodies, macrophages engulfing pathogens. A complex army defending you from disease, and many immune functions are enhanced during sleep when immune cells circulate more effectively. The longest living tree is a bristlecone pine named Methuselah, over 4,800 years old, growing slowly in harsh conditions in California's White Mountains. This tree was already ancient when the pyramids were built, patient and persistent, surviving through rest and adaptation. Your skin is your largest organ, about 2 square meters of surface area in adults, weighing about 8 pounds. This waterproof boundary between you and the world, sensory surface detecting touch. Temperature pain, protecting you from infection, regulating temperature through sweating, constantly shedding and renewing. A raindrop falling from a typical cloud at about 6,000 feet reaches terminal velocity of about 20 miles per hour, balancing gravitational force with air resistance, and falls at this speed until hitting the ground, the drop's journey taking about 5 to 7 minutes, and your journey to sleep is also nearing its end, just a few more moments until you arrive. Your heart's electrical impulse begins in the sinoatrial node, spreads through the atria causing them to contract, reaches the atrioventricular node where it's briefly delayed, then spreads through the ventricles causing them to contract, this carefully timed sequence ensuring efficient pumping, the heart essentially a self-contained electrical and mechanical system. The Antarctic ice sheet is up to 3 miles thick in places, enormous weight of ice pressing down on the continent, the weight so great it has depressed the land below sea level in some areas, showing the power of accumulated snow over millions of years. Your liver processes nutrients absorbed from the small intestine, converting them into forms your body can use, storing some for later, releasing others into the bloodstream. This chemical processing plant working constantly, performing hundreds of functions, and many of these functions intensify during sleep when energy is available. A bolt of lightning can be up to 5 miles long, stretching from cloud to ground or cloud to cloud, following the path of least electrical resistance through the air, seeking connection. Completing the circuit, electrons flowing from negative to positive, nature balancing electrical charge. The human nose produces about 1 liter of mucus per day, this thick fluid trapping dust and bacteria, keeping your airways clean, most of it swallowed unconsciously. Production continuing day and night, your body constantly protecting itself. Your brain uses about 20 watts of power continuously, about the same as a dim light bulb, fueled by glucose from your blood. No other fuel will do. The brain absolutely dependent on steady glucose supply, which is why blood sugar regulation is so important. The speed of light is absolute, the same in all reference frames. Whether you're moving toward the light source or away from it, you measure the same speed. This counterintuitive fact at the heart of Einstein's special relativity, showing that space and time are not what they seem. Your muscles are made of protein fibers that slide past each other to create contraction. Thousands of muscle fibers bundled together, controlled by motor neurons. The more fibers activated, the stronger the contraction. But right now no contraction is needed, no tension, only complete relaxation, muscles soft and heavy and still. The deepest any human has been underwater is Challenger Deep, reached by Jacques Piccard and Don Walsh in 1960 in the bathyscaphe Trieste, almost 7 miles down. Nearly 4 hours to descend, showing that humans can reach even the most extreme environments with enough determination and technology. But right now, you're not going anywhere. You're staying exactly where you are, right here on the edge of sleep. Your blood cells have different lifespans. Red blood cells living about 120 days, white blood cells from a few hours to several years depending on type. Platelets lasting about 9 to 10 days, constant turnover, your blood constantly renewing itself. The fastest wind speed ever recorded was during Tropical Cyclone Olivia in 1996, 253 miles per hour, faster than any tornado, faster than most race cars. Destructive force, but tonight the air is perfectly still, calm, peaceful, no wind, no movement, only quietness. Your brain's prefrontal cortex, responsible for planning and decision-making, becomes less active as you fall asleep. This is why thoughts become less logical, more dreamlike. Rationality giving way to imagination, the conscious mind releasing its grip. The oldest known living organism is a colony of quaking aspen trees in Utah, sharing a root system. The individual trees dying and being replaced, but the root system persisting for about 80,000 years, showing that connection and shared foundations create longevity. Your heart beats faster when you inhale and slower when you exhale. This respiratory sinus arrhythmia is normal and healthy, the vagus nerve coordinating breathing and heartbeat. And as your breathing slows, your heart slows too, the two systems working together to bring you to rest. A single photon of light is the smallest possible packet of electromagnetic radiation, indivisible quantum of energy. And trillions of photons are hitting your closed eyelids right now if there's any light in the room. But you're not seeing them, your visual system shut down, your brain not processing the signals. The human body contains about 25 trillion red blood cells, each one a biconcave disc without a nucleus, just a bag of hemoglobin protein. Each molecule of hemoglobin carrying 4 oxygen molecules. The chemistry of respiration happening in these tiny cells as they circulate through your body. Your stomach empties at different rates depending on what you ate. Liquids emptying in about 20 minutes, carbohydrates in 2 hours, proteins in 3 hours, fats in 4 hours or more. This is why you shouldn't eat a heavy meal right before bed. Digestion can interfere with sleep. The largest living organism by area is a honey fungus in Oregon, covering over 2,000 acres underground. Most of it invisible, mycelium spreading through the soil, slowly consuming dead wood. This single organism, larger than many cities, showing that the largest things are often hidden. Your eyes produce tears constantly, not just when crying, the lacrimal glands releasing fluid with every blink, keeping your corneas moist and clean, washing away debris. But tear production decreases during sleep when your eyes are closed and don't need as much lubrication. A bolt of lightning is hotter than the surface of the sun, reaching temperatures of 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit compared to the sun's surface temperature of about 10,000 degrees. Brief intense heat that dissipates almost instantly, the surrounding air quickly returning to normal temperature. The human skeleton contains about 1 kilogram of calcium, 99% of your body's calcium stored in bones and teeth, the remaining 1% circulating in blood and soft tissues. This 1% absolutely essential for muscle contraction, nerve signaling, and blood clotting. Your brain produces different neurotransmitters at different times. Serotonin during the day helping you feel awake and happy, melatonin in evening making you sleepy. Adenosine accumulating throughout the day building sleep pressure. Complex chemical orchestration regulating your sleep-wake cycle. The speed of a nerve impulse in your body varies from less than 1 mile per hour in some unmyelinated fibers to over 200 miles per hour in large myelinated fibers. Signals racing through your nervous system, But right now these signals are quieting, less activity, your nervous system entering rest mode. Your kidneys receive about 20% of your cardiac output, more blood flow per tissue weight than any other organ except lungs. This high flow necessary for filtering blood, removing waste while keeping useful proteins and cells, producing urine constantly, though production slows at night so you can sleep uninterrupted. The oldest light we can see is the cosmic microwave background radiation, photons that have been traveling for 13.8 billion years. Released when the universe was only 380,000 years old, ancient light from the beginning of time, visible now only as faint microwave radiation filling all of space. Your liver contains about 300 billion liver cells called hepatocytes, each one performing multiple functions, synthesizing proteins, producing bile, storing glycogen, detoxifying chemicals. This enormous cellular workforce maintaining your body's chemistry. A raindrop is shaped like a hamburger bun, not a teardrop as often depicted, the bottom flattened by air resistance as it falls, larger drops more flattened than smaller drops. Physics determining form, and you too are being shaped by physics, gravity pulling you down into your bed, pressure of mattress supporting you, perfect balance of forces. The human eye can adapt to see in light levels varying by a factor of 1 trillion, from brightest sunlight to darkest night, the pupil dilating and contracting. Photoreceptors adjusting their sensitivity, remarkable dynamic range. But right now your eyes are closed, adapted to complete darkness, no adaptation needed, just rest. Your blood pH is tightly regulated around 7.4, slightly alkaline. Any deviation by more than 0.1 in either direction can be dangerous. Your lungs and kidneys working together to maintain this critical balance, exhaling carbon dioxide to prevent acidosis, excreting acid in urine, constant regulation essential for life. A bolt of lightning can contain up to 1 billion volts of electrical potential, though the current only flows for a few microseconds, brief but immense power, nature's high voltage discharge. But your body's voltages are tiny by comparison. Nerve impulses about 70 millivolts, peaceful biological electricity, no lightning, only gentle currents. Sleep now.